Welcome to the Sound-Centric Podcast. I am your host, Adam Dash. And today, I'm joined by one of the members, one of the greatest hip-hop duos of all time. You might know him by Doc. Might know him by WOWGR8. You might know him by his rapping ad-lib, He is here. This means a lot for me. And my people know I'm a Dreamville stan. It's just what fuels me for hip-hop. But Doc, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate the shout out on the ad lib. I love when people recognize that.
Man, I love that shit. Is that something that
I started doing that ad lib as like a vocal exercise, like to try to. Yeah. I used to do it slower. I used to be like, but then I just like started, and then it just became. Then people started saying they like it, and I was like, yeah, okay. I just kept doing it.
I can't tell what's something that's just like when you freestyle, you naturally say it. Like I see JID always goes like, whoa, shit. And it's probably something he just naturally does and it goes into his music.
Yeah. It's always good to have like a little something you do to like build you up, like a little pickup, you know what I'm saying? Like before you get into that zone. Yeah. It feels good. It like enters you into it.
Gets you hyped up. But EarthGang, you guys just came out with your new EP, the second of, I believe, 3 that is coming, Robophobia. I know you guys started with like an idea for an album and decided to break that down into 3 different EPs, kind of make it more digestible for people, which I really like that concept. Was there really what was the thought going into it? Like, we want to make this more digestible for people and give them time to really sit with each of these 4 to 5 songs?
Yeah, and it's just the way we were making music. A lot of the music we were making was more experimental than anything we'd ever tried before. So we was like, man, if we're going to be, doing experiments, then let's, really give people time to listen to it and appreciate the experiment. Yeah. We didn't want to be, taking these sonic risks and just being like, it's on there. Like, we didn't care about it. Like, we wanted to show people we actually cared about each song. And I think that's something that, like, I think our whole drive for this whole versus the algorithm thing hasn't been to, like, say, the machines are killing us or, be worried. It's really just to super highlight the human element. And part of the human element is loving the music. You know what I'm saying? Because I know AI can make a great song. I don't know if it loves its own song. But I know that I can relate to somebody else loving it. I don't, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing I just know. So if I can put that I actually love each one of these songs, you're going to know that because I'm only giving you 5 right now to like give y'all the opportunity to feel how I feel. Do it again. And we got them, you know what I'm saying? We've been had them all stacked up. It was really just, we really wanted it to be magnified, you know what I'm saying? So I'm proud of this rollout. I love this rollout.
Man, you guys are killing it. And you tweeted that there are some Easter eggs from your original EP, Robots. So I was just listening to that album. And ironically, the song's called So Many Feelings, but it's an album called Robots. And it's like, I feel like you're really pushing that narrative that, there are things that AI can make easier in life and things that it can help fasten the process. But there's something about that storytelling and that real human element that AI can't tell the intricacies of a story the same way a human can talk about when they're painting a picture.
Yeah, and it's just the love, bro. It's just like there's a certain feeling. Like I say, I think AI can do really great things, and I love AI personally. Like we just dropped the AI video for Blacklight. It's not completely AI, but the dude did manipulate it. You know what I'm saying? But like, so we love the tool, but it's like at the end of the day, like knowing that somebody there, it matters to me. Knowing that somebody's behind it matters to me because it's like, okay, cool. At the end of the day, we do have to have like some type of grasp that this is a human experience and not just like we weren't put on Earth just to get money. Like, do we love getting money? Hell yeah, but like we wasn't put here just to count numbers. Like, and you know what I'm saying? That's really all that is. Like we more than that. We experience all these other parts of ourselves fully. So let's just fully experience that through the art. That's how I mean.
I think that's a big thing. I have the same perspective on AI because the fun part for music specifically, it's hearing a song and going, how the hell did someone think of that? And it's like, they're the same as me. They got the same heart. They got the same skin. They got the same everything as me. And their brain creatively thought of that idea. And something about just AI kind of ruins that concept. It's like, oh, a machine made that. But something like hearing your album, and it's like these 2 dudes got in a room and they thought of these ideas and they fleshed them out.
Yeah, and it's something inspiring about that because let's say even if you don't make music, just knowing that, like, I feel like something got to highlight the power of, like, our thinking to inspire each other to just think better. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm a chick and I make dresses or whatever, like, I could hear like a hard ass song and be like, damn, he really went so hard on this song. Like I feel like my mind is this strong, but just in this way. So like
Yeah.
I feel like that's forever important for us to like have that element, have that human element for like just to keep us purposeful, bro. Like at the end of the day, we gonna all, you know what I'm saying? If we just give up every element of ourselves to that shit, then we will just end up being batteries for them, like in the Matrix.
Yeah. I know you're a big Matrix guy,
I
and
love
I also
Matrix.
know I know you're a huge Snoop Dogg fan. I know that the way that he goes about diving into different genres of music and his business acumen, that really inspired you. What did it mean to get the man himself on the new EP?
Snoop was great. He did that a long time ago. Actually, that feature a minute ago. It was right after we met him. We did one of them like flag football games, like celebrity
Yeah.
flag football games. But he did that verse easy peasy. He did it. Like I said, another artist who's like way too professional for me did that shit hella fast. Like you know what I'm saying, knocked it out. And then he like he's on the EP that I that song Osmosis is also kind of inspired by him, like the way he did the sexual seduction song. When I
Yeah.
first approached Osmosis, that's what like kind of time I was on. I was like, let me do something that's like I want to do something that's like super electric wavy melodic. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
that's why. I love having both of those on the same thing, even though he probably I don't even know he probably didn't even heard Osmosis yet, but I know he'll fuck.
Well, I feel like on my Twitter timeline, Osmosis is the one I'm seeing the most talked about. Because first off, people are acting like you don't sing, and they're like, "Whoa, he can sing! You've been singing. We know over here." And I mean, your voice. It's something about the Atlanta accent. I love it. But is it weird when a song? Well, I mean, that song you teased a couple months ago, and so it seems like fans really liked it. But I know a song like "Lie to Me" was a song that you guys were surprised by. That was like,
Yeah.
oh, this song is really connecting with fans. So
Hmm.
I go through the same thing with I can tweet something and I'm like, this tweet will be a banger from a podcast episode. It doesn't do well, and sometimes I tweeted I'm listening to this Mick Jenkins album for the first time, and it got like 1,000 likes and people are commenting. I'm like, why the hell did that tweet? Why is that the one that took off? So how do you like kind of deal with that, like the expectation, like I think this song's gonna be the one and it doesn't hit, or that random
I,
song is like, oh
Personally, I never think none of them gonna be the one because I'll just love. I'm like I told you, bro. I'm really a nerd with this shit. I like
yeah
every song the most, except for the songs I don't like. If I don't like, I'm like super like pass or fail with shit. Like if I don't like a song, I
yeah
hate it. If I like it a little bit, I love it all the way. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know what I'm saying. We have a few on every project that I'm not fan of, but it's lot more that I'm like, man, I don't care what's gonna be the one. But I also know that in our climate, the fans choose, bro. Like we haven't been the radio and all that shit hasn't chose a
yeah
hit song in forever, bro. Like it
they
be
do not.
what like even before motherfucking TikTok, when it was like niggas posting their songs on IG, when shit was going viral on Twitter, shit was going viral on Vine. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah
can go all the way through history of the internet. That shit low key been since the internet been booming. It's been controlling what the hit is. So like
yeah
that's why you can't even like that means it's the most that's probably the most democratic thing in the country that actually is democratic. Like
just music.
motherfucking people choosing what's the banger. Like fast. So like that's why you know what I'm saying, oftentimes it's true. Like when you see like a artist like Kevin Gates or like Young Boy, or like
Yeah
these like Louisiana artists who like you don't really hear them on the radio ever, but you know they're the giants. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Like that's how you know like people are selecting that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the classic Twitter thing for maybe older people is like, oh, that song's not getting played at the club though. It's not 2000 anymore. Like that's not how we judge a song. Like, yo, Cole's not
Yeah.
getting played at the club. Who cares? He doesn't make
Nobody
music
gives
for
a
the
fuck,
club.
bro. Like it's so many people now. Like it's so many just people on Earth, people with access to things. Like it's not even the same scale of thought no more. But it was a
Yeah.
time when like my dad's generation, like yeah, it's gonna go crazy on the radio, it's gonna go crazy in the club. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
that's not even enough places for me to go crazy. Like I prefer going crazy on a movie, a video game, a motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, the internet, and something else. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. I mean, we're in the era of like niche music now and niche communities. So I mean, that is that thing. We're not getting superstars anymore, which I think is fine. I think it's better to build these communities, and like Dreamville and EarthGang has built this strong ass community that if people might not compare you to like bigger artists who are doing arenas, but you guys are selling out every tour. Like there are people that love what EarthGang brings.
yes. But the goal, I think that's my ultimate goal still though, is to do arenas. Like
And I mean, you guys got it.
I
It's
think it'll
coming.
happen, but that's really been my only goal. Like I don't give a fuck about like I mean awards are nice, not really tripping on them. They don't really like mean as much. And I don't even really tripping on
Yeah.
like the number ones and shit like that, which I know that would probably piss my management off me saying that. But like I don't really be tripping on chart placement and all that shit. I give a fuck, but like at the end of the day, I guess that's necessary to do what I want to do. But like we built a lot of our community on touring. So like we did like circuit after circuit after circuit.
Yeah.
Like bigger rooms every time. So like I'm just like, man, to me that's like a video game. Like we just like getting level. We level up every time we do that shit. And I'm just trying to get to the level of arenas. And I'm like, yeah, no, I killed this shit. Like that's what I like ultimately want to do.
Yeah, I'm the type of fan who I'm really into like the live side of the industry, and I'm the type of guy who's like trying to see what venue people are coming to in Philly, because like I'm very like that's where I'm from, outside of Philly. So it's cool. Like, oh, they were performing at this arena, but now they're going to the Fillmore. Oh, and now they're getting up to the Met. And it's cool seeing artists that I love slowly climb up these ranks of going from the club shows to the little bigger ones to maybe like a pavilion. And I mean, you guys are known for having the best shows, so you guys put that effort into it, and it's showing.
Yeah, it gets better every time we go out. We just got to keep building. That's all. You just can't stop.
So you guys, I mean, you're a huge comedy fan, and we're going to talk about the Jim Carrey song in a second. But you made a song where you guys had Adam Sandler be a huge inspiration for you, and the man himself saw the video and responded. What did that mean for you, for the Waterboy himself, to appreciate you guys emulating that?
That's still one of my favorite moments, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. Like I can't believe that shit, bro. Like that shit was hella cool. And I always watched like every Adam Sandler movie as a kid. Like I watched all of them, even the ones that was not that far. Like the one where he like played his own sister. I was like, where we going?
Jack and Jill,
yeah. Yeah. But like I just fuck with him, and I fuck with like that type of like I fuck with people who I could just see like a raw talent in, and like they did it, and I also fuck with the fact that he like, even though you know what I'm saying, Michael Vick fucked it up, Adam Sandler stayed with the homies, and he brought the homies with him, and I super fuck with that. That's the type of person I definitely am. That's how we started Spillage Village. It was all based on like, yo, me and my niggas like, when we first went on tour, we was like, we not going on tour unless my roommates coming with me type shit, like. You know what I'm saying? So like I fuck with Adam Sandler for being like that.
And I feel like there's a comparison in there for how comedic actors are sometimes really good at drama roles because there's so much drama involved in comedic acting. And I think you're someone in your writing style, you have very funny lines, but then you also have the realest lines I've ever heard. And I think there's just some similarity there. I mean, do you think that's kind of inspired by those like comic legends who are able to get into those serious movies?
Like, I'm inspired by rap for sure, but I'm inspired by like Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, you know what I'm saying, Bernie Mac, you know what I'm saying. Like I think about them when I'm in the studio, you know what I'm saying. When I'm making music, I'll probably have some of that type shit on, you know what I'm saying, while I'm making music, like some stand up or like some goddamn like a Portlandia or like one of them obscure comedy shows. Like I'm always having some. I keep a very Joker-like environment, you know what I'm saying? Like the Joker when I'm in the studio.
So to get into Jim Carrey, I mean, the song's hilarious, and you posted that to celebrate the followers on Twitter. And I love how active you are on social media because you are hilarious and post some wild shit on there. And one of my favorite movies of all time is The Truman Show. It honestly might be the favorite movie I've ever had.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and you have these albums recently that are talking about robots and kind of the future. So this conversation isn't really about AI, but I feel like we're seeing kids grow up, and their lives are kind of the Truman Show because you have these parents that are videotaping every single second and posting it to the internet, and it's just kind of weird, and I feel like we didn't learn anything from the Truman Show, like how that can mess someone up, and you're a dad yourself. It's like, what do you feel about that?
We're going to see a whole different generation of motherfuckers with that shit, bro. What's so crazy is, like, my son... I don't post them like crazy. I post them every now and then. I have like no problem posting my son, but like I don't post them like I'm not like he don't have like a page. I don't let him do social media. I don't let him like even you know what I'm saying. He's not logged into nothing but Roblox. But like motherfucking he even still all his favorite shit he likes to watch is YouTubers. So like when he plays video games, nobody's watching him at all. He be like, "Hey guys, so today we're gonna," and he just talk like he already hosting, and I'm like, "Bro, nobody's even in here." Like, but like that's just, it's like but like that's what I'm saying. The fact that he even has like a host part of his brain, you know what I'm saying. I feel like most kids have that now, and that's the crazy thing to even think about. Like They all
It's
have
kind of
like
like
they
when,
all have a like in case I'm being watched. This is how I act. Part of my brain
yeah,
just in them. That shit's crazy.
that is really interesting. It's like Truman when he's talking into the mirror and he's drawing the space helmet, and they're like, "Does he know?" And they're like, "Oh, he's just talking to himself because that's just like what his personality was like."
Bro, I see kids do that shit all the time, bro. Like they'll be like, "Oh, hey, so today we're gonna," and I'm like, "It's like y'all hosting like a YouTube tutorial, like at all times." Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. But what's also crazy is that you are coming out soon with your first solo album, Howl At Da Moon. This
woo!
This thing is crazy. It is featuring so many amazing artists that we're about to get into, including Chris Patrick, Deontay Hitchcock, Marco Plus, all them Atlanta, New Jersey boys. Shout out to Chris. You got Flame on there. I mean, dude, tell me about the process. This is the first time coming out with a solo project. What does that mean to you? Why does this feel like this is the time?
I also got my boy Big Cup on there from Tennessee. He's nice. Who else? Benji's on there. Benji's on Meow.
Meow's a funny ass song.
Yeah, it's a breakup song. It's heartbreak. It's Meow, but like the
Yeah.
cat is hurt. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I mean, that was a fun album to make, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. That was the most fun I ever had making music. Like not just. I had a lot of fun making like Mirrorland. Mirrorland was like super fucking fun to make. So like I really didn't think I could have that much fun making an album again because we was all over the place on Maryland. We was on tour. We did a lot of shit in LA. We was watching a lot of crazy ass shit. Maryland was crazy as fuck to me. But it felt kind of like that again, just even more untethered on like the sense of like where my mind could go. You know what I'm saying? Like I
hmm
wasn't thinking about. I've never just thought about nothing but my life story before. Honestly, you know what
hmm
I'm saying? I never put that much. Like a lot of my shit be like quirky shit, cool lines. I put some story in where I can, but like I never went to like a place where I'm like really like each song is very connected to some truth. You know what I'm saying? Very connected to
Yeah.
some like who I am. So that shit felt good as fuck to make. I made it with my friends. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get like a bunch of like I didn't try to get all the most viral and biggest producers. I made it with my dogs. So that felt really good. All the instruments
Yeah.
is real. You know what I'm saying? The French horns, the guitars, the motherfucking like we was really taking it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we going crazy with the drums and shit, 808s and all that shit. But like a lot of that shit, a lot of instrumentation, harps. I had people pull up to the hood and record this shit. Like most of this shit was did on the south side with my friends. So like I think, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of just sentimental like
Yeah.
unfinished projects that I was like if I'm gonna do one, then I'm gonna do one like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm EarthGang for life, but I was like, if I'm gonna ever do a project that's like my project, I'm gonna be like as sentimental as possible and like really like,
hmm
you know what I'm saying? Put all my feelings into it. It was inspired by like Tarantino movies and like the death of my cousin. He just passed last winter,
Sorry to hear
and
that.
yeah, no, it's like all the pieces. I got so the first song, Plot Twist. That's a
hmm
sample of my father. He was a musician back in the '80s. He had like a bunch of like demos he never would let me hear, and then or he couldn't find them. And
Yeah.
then and then my mom found them one day, and she was like, "Yo, I was cleaning out this shelf and found this box of
Yeah.
tapes. You want them?" And I was
Dad
like,
was
"What?"
pissed.
But she got them digitized. And she gave me a hard drive, and I started the mom for that because she took the extra step. And then
Yeah.
I got the hard drive and put that shit in my computer. Me and Nacho was like, we was in LA first playing them. We was like, oh shit, and we just immediately chopped that shit into a hard ass beat. So like each song got like pieces of my actual like DNA in it. You know what I'm saying? Like my
Yeah.
son's on the intro, my daddy on the first song. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm playing with like you know what I'm saying. I'm tying the generations with this shit, so it just felt really good to make.
I love that, and you can feel that in the album. You feel the fun that you were having. You can feel like this was like the best time you were having in your life, but you can also
I
feel
played it
this.
for Chris though. He was like, "Bro, you sound so free." I was
Yeah.
like, "That's hilarious, bro." But I really was. I never made a project where I was like, "I don't care what nobody think about it." Like zero people, like no people at all think about this shit. Like it was
Yeah.
always something because like we always, we getting compared to the Dreamville squad, getting compared to other, you know what I'm saying? All that shit was in there, and
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, bro, fuck all that shit, and just have an album where I really said fuck all that shit. That's why I feel so strong about it. I'm like, I know, whatever it do, I made what I love, and I was like, that's fire as hell, bro.
I think a lot of artists can learn from you saying that because you're someone who they aspire to be at that level. and they're thinking about maybe the gimmicks they can do on the album to get to that spot, and you're like, nah, I'm making music. And we were talking about this before we started recording. You're a student of the game, so you weren't trying to just get the big name feature. You mess with these people, and because of
Yeah.
the current environment we're in, you can make music with anyone in the world. So what is your process for knowing which artist to bring on a song, and kind of some of the stories that came together bringing these artists on your album?
Some is specific. For some, it's like I can't act like everything is specific. Like I didn't even know who Cup was until the day we made that song. But he's the second verse on Debo. He went crazy. I love that verse.
Debo is, whew,
And Cup,
Deontay Hitchcock on that beat.
yeah,
Oh
Deontay went
Lord.
crazy, and look, and don't say Debo went crazy, and Cup went crazy. Big Cup, he from Tennessee. I want to say Chattanooga, and they pulled up him. He pulled up with YG Tut, and Tut is my dog. So me and Tut was making something, and then we just put up that beat. And he was like, "Man, he only had rap like twice ever before. Like he was like brand new to rap.
Really?
Yes."
That's
He was like, "Man,
crazy.
I don't really do this shit." He was like, "But I got some shit wrote down." I was like, "Man, put that shit on there." I ain't even ask him. And then he went and did that shit. I was like, I was like, that's just like miraculous, nigga. Like you could have fucked that shit all the way up. But he sounded so strong on the song. I was like, nah, bro, keeping that verse. And then I got them put my shit on there right after that shit. But that was like a one take for everybody type song. Like everybody was in there at the same time. We all just rushed into the studio, and niggas was just like, you know what I'm saying? He was just going, just making shit. We made the beat was made at the same time as the verses was wrote, and like niggas just did that shit. Like that was one of them. And that's why I love that song. But like a song like what's the Chris Patrick song, Dirty Jobs?
Did a dirty
Like
job.
I had made Dirty Jobs for a while before Chris even hopped on it, and I sent it. He was like early to my mind though. I ain't gonna hold you. People when I first made it, I was like, man, he would probably float on this shit. And then I sent it to him. And he sent me some bullshit about a writer's block, and I was like, nigga, you don't shut
Man,
the
shut your ass up.
Yeah, I was like, man, it's all, you don't even got to do much. You be like, I think that was just probably him overthinking. Because I'm like, bro, if you like tiptoe in your raps, it still go because you have like a cleverness that like other niggas just don't have. So it's like, nigga, that you already kind of barring up, like even when you're not barring up. So it's like, you should just go.
Chris is just a smart ass rapper. I don't know how to
Bro,
explain
yeah,
it.
like, bro,
He
he
says
don't
words I gotta look up on the internet. I'm like, what did that even
he
mean?
don't gotta do much for it to be better than most niggas. So it's like, bro, don't even, you know what I'm saying? Don't even trip. And then he came back to me a couple weeks later and he sent me that shit and I was like, yeah, bro, this is it. And then them strings, all that shit on that shit, that's real. I was literally paying musicians out my pocket, like, pull up, what you doing today? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I cash you out, just play on this shit today. Like I said, literally,
You can hear the live
French
instrumentation
horns,
on there.
all that shit.
I mean, you guys have always been big on that, including the instruments on there. And there's a different feeling. You can tell when it was played live. You can hear the drums sometimes. You can hear the horns. And I mean, that's got to be brought back into music. We need more of it.
Yeah, I fuck with that shit, bro. It just make it feel just like more cinematic to me. Like I really was trying to make like I say, it was inspired by Tarantino, bro. I was trying to make a movie soundtrack, bro. Like even as I pitched it around to folks to like get it out, which you know what I'm saying, that's where we at with it. I'm like, this is a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounds like an album, but it's a movie. I didn't go too deep into story detail, but I wanted people to like take their own story away from like listening to that shit blended with a few skits.
Yeah, I was talking to Suave about this on our last episode, but it's something about storytelling that the audience might not connect to the literal story you're telling, but there's a deeper emotion that they can always connect with. I think that's the important part because we obviously all have different experiences, but there's an underlying emotion that anyone can talk about and feel.
Yes, and I think that's what's the most important. I think when people start getting too like analytical, like, well, what was his story then? What was his story? It's like you missed the whole fucking point, bro. Like, go listen to it with like a different sense of yourself. Like, just chill and like appreciate something for once. That's all.
And every song and album has a different setting that can be, you can get a different meaning. So I was saying I was listening to this album in the gym. So maybe when I'm listening to it at the gym, I'm getting more hyped to the song and the beat and the chorus. But when I'm listening in my room and I'm just putting my headphones in, it's like, oh, that's when I'm really noticing the instrumentation and the deeper lyrics and the story to it. I mean, that's the fun part about music. It's like anywhere you are, you can get a different meaning from it.
Hell yeah.
What's your favorite Tarantino movie?
Shit. I mean, you gotta say the Kill Bills 1 and 2, but because that's really, I ain't gonna hold you. That's his magnum opus. That's like his favorite. That's like his
It's
like
crazy.
best work to me. But it's not my favorite. My favorite that I just enjoy watching over and over again is Inglorious Bastards.
Facts.
But I fuck with
That
Django heavy too. It just take a long time for me to get through Django sometimes. But like
yeah.
I
That
will watch
opening
Inglorious
scene.
Bastards over and over, bro.
Au revoir, Shoshana. That opening scene is the craziest scene of probably movie history.
And what's the other one he oh, I do like Pulp Fiction. It comes on a lot. So I feel like I've seen that more than like the rest of them. But yeah, I like
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction. It's a fun movie to watch.
I think Django's my number one, and then Inglourious Basterds number two.
Yeah.
Jamie, there's so many lines in it, and the act, it's just crazy.
Nah, Django
Them
is
boys.
great. I ain't watched it in a minute. It might be time to rewatch Django. It's still
You got to.
February. I watch it right before. I watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you gotta celebrate. Now I want to get into your writing style. One of my favorite lines from you ever is, "I'm over my lyrical phase. I'd rather be potent." So before we really dive into it, I want to know what that line means to you when you wrote it.
Shoot, man. I think I don't know. I'm always kind of being like kind of winking at the camera. I always feel like when I'm rapping, I'm
Yeah.
like Jim from The Office. Like I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
can you believe this shit? Like I'm always on like, can you believe this shit?
Yeah,
Kind
like
of,
breaking the
kind
fourth
of,
wall.
yeah, fourth wall breaking path with my lyrics. So I think that was kind of just me just winking at the fans because I see what people say. You know what I'm saying? They be like, if you never really like listen to our like you gotta listen to, unfortunately, you gotta listen to a whole project to really get what we do. So
Yeah.
it's like if you only heard like a song or two, you would think like, okay, well, nah, the song I heard, that nigga was doing a lot of rapping. That's what they are. Checked out. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? To each his own, and however you find it, find it. But that was me winking to like the audience, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't even got nothing that's lyrical to say. I did all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I wasn't even necessarily trying to be lyrical before. I think I'm just enthusiastic. Like I think I'm just
Yeah. I feel
enthusiastic
like
as ever, bro.
there's a
Like
there's a difference between like lyrical miracle type stuff
yeah.
where it's just kind of fitting syllables, which I feel like is a different thing than lyrical rap. Like that's an even higher, like different. There's a different word for that. I don't know what to call it, but like that's not what you've ever been. You're not just filling syllables for the sake of filling syllables.
Nah,
But I
bro. I
like,
really just like I say, it's fun as hell to me. I'm just trying to out clever myself in my mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't be trying to like show nobody what I could do, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I ain't never had that intention.
I'm not sure if you've ever gotten this comparison before, but I was trying to think about like how your lines remind me of, and I feel like it's kind of like Hove, where it's still a bar and it's still clever, but there's something so real about the line that you're like, oh shit, like that's real. Like it's not just a punchline.
I'm gonna say this. Hove need a song with me, bro. We need
Yo,
a song,
Hove.
bro.
Hove,
Me
I
and
know you're
Hove,
watching this podcast.
and I know
Come
you
on.
be watching everything. I know you
Yeah,
see y'all.
he just
Hove
linked up
all
with Schoolboy Q. Come on,
exactly.
link up with Doc.
Oh, if he heard the album, Hove will lose it. I need
Yo,
this
get
Hove.
Hove on debauchery. Can we get him on there with Marco?
That would be
He's
crazy.
spazzing.
That would be crazy. I wasn't even thinking of that one, but that actually would be insane. Man, Hove, what's up? I know you see
Yeah,
this. Let's just get the whole shut out the way.
yeah.
But yeah,
I've
no, I
noticed
appreciate that.
I've noticed a trend in some of your lines. This is something I've noticed that you've had a lot of lines about God. So I'm gonna read a couple off for you. Some of my favorite of all time. Only God can judge, and that's only if you still give a fuck, which is on the same song that we were just referencing. I'm baptized.
Hmm.
Um, I ain't God, but I'm out here killing shit regardless. On the new album, you said that. They call me crazy because I understand God's humor. So I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know how to describe it because you have this whole thought process about robots in the future, but then you're also kind of having these thoughts about God and maybe he's not like always supporting us and thinking. But tell me about why that's seems to be a common
I
thing that
mean,
you rap about.
I definitely believe God exists. I definitely believe that there is a presence and a force that is like the reason we all exist.
Hmm.
So that's enough to be considered God for me. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
don't care if it's like in this world it's a 2-year-old girl, you know what I'm saying? It could be, you know what I'm saying, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying, it could be something damn near insignificant in this world. But whatever it is, there is a God, so I know it exists. And I know for that reason, you know what I'm saying, it's always kind of in my mind. But like I say, I also am a futurist, you know what I'm saying? I believe in like, you know what I'm saying, I believe in like the singularity that's probably people say it's coming. I feel like it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, this is what you mean it's coming. Like what do you do without you know what I'm saying? So I feel like,
Yeah.
and I also feel it. This is not even to go into my little geeky theory, but I also feel like
Now get into
motherfucking.
it.
I feel like the internet and like this stage of technology that we in right now is subconsciously man's attempt to create his own God, to create God on earth. Because we wanted to create something that's like, that sees everything, that knows everything. And we wanted to believe that so bad that we was like,
Yeah.
like, why else do we even have this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like,
I
that's just a
feel
theory I have. I feel like subconsciously
I get
the
it.
technology around us exists. Like the reason we can do this right now is because we wanted to see God so bad. So I think futurism and it's like where futurism in the past kind of like
Mm-hmm.
they complement each other.
I think humans naturally like to have answers to things, and it scares us when we can't explain stuff. So, kind of to that point, if we're building these things, we have an explanation of how it was created. Oh, it was
Exactly.
us. Like, we're a god right now. But yeah, there's those moments where we can't explain shit, and it's nice to be like, no, maybe there's an outside figure that is drawing those forces to that.
Mm-hmm.
But to
Nah,
get more into your writing style, how do you think that's changed over the albums as you've grown up? Because maybe you were talking about some more random stuff in the beginning, the mixtapes. I mean, you guys have always been very potent with your raps, but how do you think you've kind of transformed?
um, I don't know. I think a big one obviously is touring for years and years and years on end. Like that shit'll make you see what's hitting. For one thing, you gonna see it right in somebody's face.
Facts.
Like which lines is working, and you naturally, you know what I'm saying, you gonna like naturally tailor your shit to get more of those moments, to get more of the good moments out of the crowd. So like that shit is like a big thing that like evolves your whole flow. That's like the
Yeah.
first thing. If you ain't never went out on road, then you probably gonna rap like your bedroom raps forever. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like even like one of my favorite artists is Young Boy. I studied that nigga like diligently, bro. That nigga's amazing. But he ain't never really did no like
Touring.
because of that nigga's situation. He never did no like big ass tour. I
Yeah.
know when he do, that shit gonna be crazy because
Yeah,
everybody
he
gonna be
knows.
like, this might be my chance to see. So like,
Yeah.
but I promise if he do another one, the nigga music gonna change a little bit. Just
Mm-hmm.
cause he gonna be like, okay, shit. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't really give a fuck, you kind of give a fuck. Cause it's like you
Yeah.
do want like them. You want them moments when you on stage to like it feel different in person, bro. It's like it's not like
Yeah.
you care about the nigga comments, but you do care about like when you in person, like feeling that energy. It make you perform harder.
Yeah. I mean, it made Kanye make Graduation. He came into it like, I want to make some stadium music.
Yes, cause
He
you
went on the
feel that
road for
shit.
those tours, and he's like, oh, I know what I can make that will make a stadium go crazy.
Yeah, you like learn that shit as you go, as you travel.
What are some songs by you guys that you kind of made thinking, when I go on tour, this one's gonna go off? I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
Ghetto Gods, this song is a crazy one.
yeah, that one did it. That one was fun. Um, what's the song? I don't know, man. Let me think. You got me thinking about
Yeah,
our set
you got to
and
go through your
our
own discography.
yeah. It's a lot of songs. I know.
I mean,
A
Up Goes
surprise one,
Hard.
but I kind of felt it is Run It Up. We did with Snake Hips. That
Yeah,
song be turning up any crowd. It don't matter what kind of crowd it is. That shit always goes. Um, what else? Definitely the Ghetto Guy song. This side, like that whole explosion at the end of this side was
yeah,
purposeful as fuck. We definitely did that shit after being
yeah,
on
yeah.
tour.
When that beat
uh,
change,
yeah, up even. Like for real, we
mm-hmm.
can go far back as up because like
Yeah,
we had just got off tour with like you know what I'm saying. Probably after the TDE tour type shit. Like
mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, we was still very early in our career, but like we started off touring with like TDE. It was Soul and
Yeah. Shout out
Isaiah
to
and
Soul.
SZA and all them, like before they was Soul Isaiah and SZA, you know what I'm saying, the way they are today
Yeah.
type shit. Like, but
Well,
like,
let's get more into the touring and how you guys have changed. I mean, you've like you said, you started with Ab-Soul, maybe those smaller venues. You've opened for Gorillas. You've gone your own headlining tours, which is like these are all different types of experiences. But let's start with the Ab-Soul tour because we were talking to Suave last week, and he was talking about how he learned how to do breath control from JID, and getting those lessons of knowing how to strategize the set list. What were some things maybe you learned on that first tour from Soul?
boy, what? Let me tell you a couple things. One, immediately, I want to say it might have been our second show. So had like I didn't even know he was watching this, but immediately like our second show, he had like so many notes, bro. Like he broke us down with like so many ways, bro. Like and that was our first time really on the road. Before that, we had only done like local Atlanta shows type shit. We had them shit jumping. We definitely had them shit. That was like a crazy time, just like but like motherfucking this nigga Soul would have us like he was like, bro, y'all got to think about, you know what I'm saying, who gonna say what. Y'all gotta have some better shit to say in between y'all songs. Y'all gotta goddamn like, you know what I'm saying, pick up with this nigga, you know what I'm saying, do this verse, y'all should say this line together. Like I was like, bro, he had intricate details of like notes. So like he just made us, we was already taking it serious, but he made us like, we was like, no, we gotta take this shit. Like, we gotta do this shit, bro, cause these niggas, you know what I'm saying? For one thing, we was on that tour by the skin of our teeth, bro. Like we had quit jobs and shit to go on that tour. We didn't have no nothing, bro. Like we was in a van, we didn't have shit. Like, we was performing in like what we slept in the night before Sunday. We just keep going just to be on that shit, bro. That shit was very fucking difficult, but we wanted that shit so bad. We was like, bro, I hope these niggas don't kick us off. But Soul had like notes, bro. And I was like, okay, I respect it, bro. I was like, appreciate that.
I think the thought of like, so I interviewed Chris after his show in SOBs the other week, and my voice was gone when I was interviewing him, and he was chilling. And I've always like just wondering, because your music, a mix of singing and rapping, and the breath control's crazy. How do you not lose your voice?
I don't know. So that tour I did lose my voice. That's the only tour I ever lost my voice on, because I'm notorious for going crazy on the stage. But motherfucking that tour, me and JID. So JID came on that tour with us. Like I say, JID was my roommate back then. We was like
just to meditate.
Yeah, we didn't go nowhere without each other. So when we first got offered that tour, I was like, bro, like quit whatever you doing right now. Let's just go, bro. Like fuck this shit. Yeah. So motherfucking, we smoked like more weed than we ever smoked ever. Like we thought we smoked. we would be like throwing in on a blunt when we was at home. We got on the road and got so much weed for free just off being with TDE. It was like it was ridiculous, bro. And we was smoking so much. I definitely dried my whole like vocal cords out, and I was I was struggling for like half the tour. It was a good like 2-3 weeks. I couldn't say a word. I'm writing shit down. But now, I mean, it's a couple things I do. Like I'll do like a shot of like a really, really, really spicy hot sauce. I'll eat a pepper.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Spicy things do a lot. They clear up a lot, bro. Like I'll eat something really, like I like a fresh, really spicy ass pepper. I'll just eat that shit before I go on stage. That shit works a lot. Motherfucking, I drink a lot of tea. I'm a tea guy now. I'm like into teas. Like I like learning about tea.
Yeah. I mean, Chris and Dende, they love throat coat tea. Someone they
that
say they
shit's cool. I don't like the flavor of that shit. That throat coat shit the flavor is kind of off for me. I be fucking with like a lot of goddamn. I should go get my tea pack.
Yeah,
we need like a lot of teas from like places that don't really have a name.
Yeah,
so like
we need a sponsor for this show, so we need to shout them out. We need that tea sponsor. Get that bag. I think it's pretty funny that there's always this like Dreamville TDE comparison, or like putting you guys against each other, but there's so many similarities. Obviously, I mean, it's just communities of such strong artists, and it's really cool to see that. I mean, Sir is on Robots, and you got Still Up, yeah, with You and Reason. That's one of my favorite hype songs ever. And I mean, what is the relationship? How did that start? How did you even get on the Ab-Soul tour? And what does that relationship mean to you guys?
Nah, I fuck with them boys over there, man. Reason and Sir, I fuck with them niggas heavy. I super fuck with Sir. I met that nigga a while ago. He always been like very solid dude. But yeah, I feel like at that time, Top and Punch was like in touch with our management, and they was like, we need somebody that'll come basically on this tour for like next to nothing. And we was like, we're just the guy at the time. And like I say, bro, that shit was difficult, but like it was worth it to us. We was like, bro, this nigga, you know what I'm saying? Kendrick had just dropped something, I don't know, something that was going, and like motherfucking Soul was going super crazy. Like all them niggas was all them niggas was finally on all cylinders. So he's like, yeah, we'll definitely, you know what I'm saying, ride. But then we built a relationship with them niggas. Like I fuck with Zaya, I fuck with Carrey, we got a couple songs with him. They just, you know what I'm saying, we be in LA, niggas that kick it, you know what I'm saying? Shit be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. There's something about, maybe you'll relate to this because you have siblings and you're the oldest. I have 2 older brothers. Those are my best friends. I love just hearing about the relationship between people. For example, like the Jason Kelce, Travis Kelce podcast. there's something so interesting to me just seeing two brothers interact.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just love hearing about these relationships. I mean, you and Olu obviously being friends forever, and you and JID and being roommates is like just hilarious here. Like thinking like you guys were just like living in a house the same way anyone else is living with roommates.
Yeah.
I mean, just tell me about those relationships.
Yeah, nah, I mean, it's my dogs, bro. I met Olu in ninth grade. I met JID, like, right after senior year of high school. And, you know what I'm saying? It was like, we just connected. Me and Olu connected a lot in the beginning of our friendship on music. Like, first thing a nigga ever asked me was, like, he asked me for, like, some CD or, like, some album or, like, some, like, I don't know. It was something. We was like starting to collect vinyls. We was like them niggas that would like go to the record store type shit, like as
Yeah.
kids, like type shit. So he was asking me that I have like a this, and I was like, what? Like, nigga, you trying to test me? He's like, I was like, I got it on. I downloaded it, and he was like, no, do you got this? And he was like having physicals, and then we just kind of like, I don't know, on some like music nerd shit. We just tapped in like that. Me and Jid tapped in on some like class clown shit because we was just like the two niggas that would just be saying outrageous shit in class.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. And then what's so crazy, Jid was recording at this one spot that we would go record at too. We had the same engineer. And like, I pulled up one day, Jid wasn't there. He was at football practice. And I ain't know him, but he had just left and did a song. And then me and Olu just hopped on it. Cause, you know what I'm saying, it was too over. There was a lot of beat left. We just left right on the song too. The nigga Jid came back like, who the fuck is these niggas on my song? And then we realized, we connected later that it was like, oh wait, you the same nigga I be seeing in class and shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Like first it was like, nigga, fuck you. Then it was like, oh no, I fuck with bro. And then after that, we thick as thieves, bro. Like through all the college, motherfucking like that was my dog, bro. So like
Yeah.
that's just like a long time brotherhood type relationship, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we sending pictures of babies and stuff to each other now, bro. It's like
I mean, going through you guys' interviews for like doing this podcast, it's just so fun seeing you guys like 8 years ago or 6 years ago, also soft spoken, just kind of growing into yourselves, and now obviously just being so confident with the creations you made. I mean, you guys are all just killing it. It's so cool to see as someone who's been a fan since I
that's
was like
cool. I
15.
never even thought
15.
about that. That's dope though. That is true though. Yeah, I guess making a bunch of music will do that to you because you really
Yeah.
ain't nobody talk about it enough how therapeutic this shit is. Like even if you don't believe me, your homie, support that nigga music, bro. Because it nothing else.
Yeah.
He's it might be saving his life, bro. Like for real. Like you gotta that shit be feeling great, bro. Especially if you're doing it the right way. If you really doing it for like what's inside you.
Yeah, that's the cool part about music. I mean, I've made music since I was 15, and it's cool to go back to listen to music when I was 17, and I know the exact mental space I was in. Like I
Yeah,
can get
that shit
back
tough.
into it. So it's kind of like having a personal diary, but instead of it's just reading words, you get to hear the songs you were making. It's like, oh, I still have that same issue, still have
Yeah,
that same confidence issue.
facts.
It's a fun journey. Sorry to pull you away from the interview, but it's time to give a big shout out to SoundCentric's first sponsor ever, artist manager and entertainment executive Ian Schwartzman. Make sure you go check out Ian's new amazing roll call series that you can find on all of his social media platforms right here. It shows artists, managers, or any music industry professionals ways to navigate the industry with topics like major labels versus independent labels, licensing versus publishing, and topics like that. I've really enjoyed it and I've learned so much, and I think you will too. Now back to the episode. But now I want to get into our weekly playlist title of the week. This is a way for us to kind of highlight how we're feeling for the week, but also shout out an amazing artist that we've been bumping. So I don't want to put you in the spot because I know you're looking right now. But Doc, who do we got? Who's highlighting the playlist?
Let me see. What do I like right now? I like a lot of shit. Oh, I'll do this one song that was my favorite song last year, just so I feel safe with all the other stuff I'm listening to recently. Mid. MYD. It's a fun song though. It's called The Sun.
MYD.
And this dude's name is MYD. Mid.
Word. I'm about to
Yeah.
check that out.
The Sun. That shit's hard.
For me this week, I'm going to shout out a friend of the show, Morgan Gold, singer from Chicago. Her new album, Megalomania, just came out. Experimental R&B. And she makes it all with her fiance. And she produces, and then Morgan sings. And they are crazy. And know what they're you don't see rising artists always do an album rollout because maybe they're like, is it worth it? Is it worth the budget? I personally always think it is. And
It's always worth it, bro.
she's killing her rollout. So shout out to Morgan. And I was watching the video for what song of Robophobia? Blacklight. That's an interesting video. I mean, every single frame looks like it's AI. Obviously, you guys did that on purpose, and it feels like the robots are taking over and trying to learn they got you strapped in with like the wires going in and out of it.
Mhm.
I mean, you guys put
Yeah,
effort into it. I love it.
I love that video. I love that song. That was like a pandemic song for me. I made that shit like I felt like it's still pretty early into the pandemic. And I don't know, it wasn't that early, like, but it was like
Yeah.
the world wasn't just agreed that it was over yet. So that was
Yeah.
one of those songs I was just at the crib making. But yeah, I love that song, man. Shout out to Dish, he made that too. Like I say, same dude that made fucking Sinus NDA, made
Yeah.
Debauchery. He made fucking Blacklight. He got like
Yeah.
he can make anything, bro. But yeah, I love that song, and I knew we knew when we put it out, we was like, yeah, it might be a slow burn because it's a different ass type song, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know. You might see that shit anywhere. It might be on like a
Yeah.
movie or something. It
Oh
might be
shit.
on like a soundtrack or something.
It's crazy to me that you guys have these songs for so long, and
Yeah.
like when you talk about it, because for us, like we just assume that was made recently, and that's just how do you keep it in the
Some
vault
are,
if you
some
love it
aren't,
so
and they'll
much?
they'll be on the same project. It'll be a song we made last week with a song we made a few years ago. But it's like if the sonics go together, then the sonics go together. Like you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like it don't matter when you was inspired to do it, but like some of them, like I say, like for example, I feel like we made like on the last one we had made by Boucher like right before we put it out type shit. But he's like, you know what, this feels right here. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
do it.
Now I want to get into some Dreamville talk because people who follow me know I'm obsessed with Dreamville. What you guys have built together and the community around it is amazing. And I want to start with the relationship with Cole because I saw Barry, your manager, JID's manager, runs since the 80s. Shout out to Barry. He tweeted that you guys specifically did not want the Cole placement on the first album, and JID did that too. Did not get a Cole feature on the first album because you guys wanted to build this name for yourselves first, which I can imagine is really hard to do when you know you can get J. Cole on your song. It's hard to put that off. But was that like an argument of, or was that agreement by you guys? Like, let's hold off on that. I think it's better to build this name first.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty effortless thought. Like I don't think we ever had like a oh we did it get Cole, like you know what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
I vote with Cole. I'm a super fan of Cole, and I'm constantly inspired by the way he lives his life and the type of way he releases his music. I'm constantly inspired by this nigga Cole.
yeah,
But at the same time, you know what I'm saying. Like you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying. Like Gohan ain't become Gohan till Piccolo left him on the mountain. You know what I'm saying. Like
hmm
you gotta really, you know what I'm saying, step into your Saiyan power. And the only way to really do that shit is to be like, look, I'm here. That's why I feel like I'm even doing like another level of Super Saiyan, even doing my own thing. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Eventually you gotta just be like, look, I'm here and think
yeah,
about think what you want to think about it, but like this is what it is.
yeah.
So I think
And
that I think we had that I think we both had that attitude. We're going into Cole, we're going into the project without Cole. But I would say we also both still was sending Cole hella songs. So it might have just been like I don't know if he would have got on one of the ones that we were sending maybe earlier, maybe we would have been like, eh. But I still feel like we would probably have held it off on it though. 'Cause I
yeah,
think that was it was definitely intentional to be like, like EarthGang. You know what
it was
I'm saying?
no, it was a very
Let
smart
us,
idea. And I
yeah.
know that Ab-Soul tours were the kind of the first time that Cole started seeing you and JID. And I know it wasn't initially like, yo, we want to sign you to Dreamville. It was kind of a come kick it, come to the studio. Talk to me about those first kind of interactions with Cole, Ebe, and the people from Dreamville.
Nah, man. They, like I say, they pulled up. I feel like Slick they had reached out some kind of way before we got on that tour. Because they knew about us, obviously, to even come say what's up. And Cole was there, like
hmm
I said, on time. And when I mean on time, we was going on so early, a lot of people still had coats on and shit. Like, it wasn't like,
Yeah,
it was people didn't know sometimes that we was performing something in some cities. Like, it was like, we was going early as fuck. We was going on
yeah.
first. And
Mike's
motherfucking
still on.
yeah, everything. You like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He
everything's
was
on.
buying drinks and food and shit. Like, motherfucking, the Cole was in there. He seen the whole thing. And like I say, in that particular show was crazy because the music did fuck up, and we like recovered a bad moment. And he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like we that shit look. I guess you know what I'm saying. Like we wasn't scared. And he was like, nigga, we here. And he was
Yeah,
like, nah. So he got them invited us to come kick it, and then ever since then it's been like I don't know, bro. It was very natural to sign it with Dreamville. It wasn't like it didn't feel like you know what I'm saying. What we going? You know what I'm saying? It was like
yeah,
we already over here. You know what I'm saying? Like we already at the crib. Like
yeah. And I think the
right
best
there.
part about Dreamville is that it was developed in a way where if you like one artist, you're just a fan of all of you guys, and the way you guys appear on each other's projects. But one of my favorite things of all time It's My Roman Empire. Revenge of the Dreamers 3. Just, it's my favorite YouTube video of all time. I've watched it so many times, and we're coming up on 5 years, which is insane to me to even like
Crazy.
say that out loud. I'm sure it's insane for you.
Crazy.
Can you give me some insight on those sessions? I think it was the smartest idea, the coolest idea I think in hip hop history. Get all these artists for a couple days and just best producers, random
Bro,
NBA players.
bro, I was about to say, bro, like fucking Chris Bosh and shit was in there, bro. Like it was,
Producing, yeah.
that shit was fucking crazy, bro. I still be thinking about that shit, like how crazy that shit was, bro. It was fucking chaotic, but it was a good time, bro. Niggas made a lot of music. It's still a lot of music, I'm sure, on some hard drive somewhere from that shit that who knows where it is. Because only a
He's
few
got it
songs
tucked
made
up.
the album, right? So like, who
Yeah.
knows where all that music is? I'm probably Eve, but like, and maybe he'll just, you know what I'm saying, do like a vault drop years from now, some commemorative shit.
Yeah.
That maybe, I don't know. I would wait 10 if I'm gonna wait this long, but but like I don't know, but it was a lot of fucking music made. I know that much. It was like you gave, it was like instead of like just one dude in the 16 chapel, like it's like you let every nigga who ever painted ever with a brush ever in the whole
Yeah.
town come into the chapel and paint the chairs and the pews and everything. Just like, you know, that shit's crazy.
That's a really good comparison, I think. And it's just seeing you guys breaking down the ideas in the documentary and hearing like Buddy being like, no, we're gonna cut the verse here and it's gonna be like we're smoking, but you gotta stop rapping, and then seeing like Wells Fargo and you guys jumping around. Are there any more stories that were not caught on the cameras that are kind of like that, where you guys are just messing around these creative ideas?
That shit was such a blur, bro. Niggas, we wasn't sleeping, so obviously, it's hard to remember anything in a period where you were sleeping.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
all I remember is we was being up at all hours of all day. It was 24/7. It was 24/7, bro. Like it would be like some waves and flows, you know what I'm saying, where it might be a little quieter sometimes of the day, but for the most part, something was bumping the whole time, bro. So it was so many like, and you never knew who you was gonna see there. Like every time I looked up, I was like, "Damn, who the fuck? Oh, what? Oh, everybody came, bro." It was crazy. I feel like Rick Ross might have pulled up at some point. Like I felt like
Yeah.
hella people. I was dead ass, bro. Like I feel like some like people was pulling up. I was like, "What the fuck? This is not just you know what I'm saying, Dreamville session. This is." It was magnanimous, bro. It was a circus. It was like honestly, I've never felt nothing that good in hip hop. Like I've been to some award shows and some like things that felt like super not fun, you know what I'm saying? But like that
It's
shit
pure
felt
hip-hop.
good. That shit felt good and it felt pure and it felt about the music. And that was the best thing about it. Like it felt like niggas was just there because they wanted to just cook up.
And you can feel it. And in the video, it was cool as a fan because some of the songs didn't make the first cut. And like hearing a song like Still Up in the documentary, I'm like, why didn't they drop that one? I need Still Up. And then a year later when it came out, it becoming like one of my favorite songs. I'm like, yes, like they dropped it. Or Still Dreaming.
I never know people like that song, bro. We don't never perform it. I never know people like that song. I know I went crazy on that verse. I walked on that verse.
Yeah. And you guys also dropped another Dreamville tape, was it now 2 years ago? And I was literally just bumping it. That song with 2 Chainz is really one of my favorite songs. Like you guys spazzed on that.
Yeah, man. That was fun. That was fun. That 2 Chainz, like I say, bro, I'm off old net, bro. Like 2 Chainz from old net. I see a billboard with him and his son on it every day. Since he was Titty Boy, bro. No, low key, I seen 2 Chainz when I was like a youngin', bro. I seen the nigga at the mall, bro. I feel like I got like something. I seen the nigga when I was like a kid, bro. Like I seen the nigga, and I was like, yo, he was Titty Boy back then. He was part of DTP, and I was a big Ludacris fan, so I knew all of them niggas. 20, Shauna, Titty. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with the whole gang. Lil Fate. I was like really into that shit. I used to buy like the Golden Grains EPs from the little shop up the street from my crib. Like I was really like a DTP stan, bro. That's so crazy that I can even say that, but that's true. So I was fucking with 2 Chainz way the fuck back. So doing that song with him, I was like, nigga, I'm blacking out. I ain't thinking about nothing. I wasn't trying to make no hook. And then I was like, man, I'm finna just go ahead and do my shit. And I killed that shit. When I came out, that nigga looked at me like, yeah. I was like, that was like one of the few fan moments I had where I was like a fan of the nigga. I was actually like a fan, like for real. Like I was like, damn, I really fuck with this nigga shit. Like I listened to so much of your shit, bro. Like fucking True Religion, all that shit. I'm geeking right now. because I fuck
I
with
love
that
hearing
nigga.
this. Yeah. Nah, this is awesome because like people act like too cool to nerd out about the people they love,
Bro,
but like
that man
that's what
is
the
a
show's
genius,
about.
bro. That nigga is a genius. That nigga one of the greatest writers, and he don't get
Yeah.
enough credit for it because people think he's silly. But that nigga is a genius, bro. Like
In a
that
fruit
shit,
fight, you could pick a pear. Oh, I love
bro.
the flow he came.
Bro, that nigga is one of the bro. I would say I'll put him up bar for bar with any rapper on the motherfucking planet, bro. That nigga too. I'm like, nah. Like I said, I be inspired a lot by him when I'm making shit. I'm like, yeah, nah. It
Yeah,
gotta have some type of cleverness to it, bro. Like it gotta have like that nigga just clever. That shit fire.
yeah. So back to Revenge of the Dreamers 3. One of my favorite songs from you guys ever is Swivel. Was Swivel made in the sessions, and then how was that decided to be put on the album and then like wrote like from their upcoming album Mirrorland? Because it was only your song and Middle Child that were songs from other albums that were put on there.
Yeah. So Swivel was a crazy song because Swivel was actually made way before the Dreamville sessions. I want to say that shit was made. I want to say on the Mac Miller tour. And that was like 16, maybe like 2016, some shit like that. We made that shit on the Mac Miller tour, and we made that shit with Bink, the producer. That's a crazy ass song. Like that shit. For one thing, like
It's
I said,
amazing.
it's based on a true story. It's based on a very close friend of mine that passed when we was young, and motherfucking, we made it in Virginia Beach. So Bink had a studio in Virginia Beach, and the spot had like we didn't have also nowhere to stay in a lot of early tour dates. We would just have like we either sleep in the car or sleep in the whatever and just keep pushing.
Yeah.
So we motherfucking slept in that nigga studio. It had a concrete floor. I never forget. It was cold as fuck. We slept in that nigga studio that night and made that song that night. And my voice was super like I had a kind of cold. My voice was super groggy. But I was like,
I like it though. It's like the
yeah,
raspiness in the
yeah.
chorus.
And
Yeah.
then when I did that shit, niggas was like, damn, bro, you blacking out. And I did that shit. That was definitely one of them one take ones. Like I just did that shit. And then motherfucking Olu came and did his verse. And when we first played that shit for Cole, it was years later, and he was like, damn, I was trying to like him and E. I think E made a decision. Was like, yo, I was trying to just put that shit on this, and he was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna put it on our album because we didn't know what. Like we was holding that song way too long. It was made like that was like one of them songs that like kind of make you feel like damn we might can make powerful music
Like
type shit. Like
we're
it
good
was
at this. Yeah.
yeah, it was like the first like flickers of Super Saiyan low key. It's like when you first like oh shit, I might be able to achieve that shit. It's like okay, so
It's
like
another
we holding
example
it
of
for a good moment.
another example of you guys like having just like the pone ass lyrics like I'm living life for the better, fuck whoever got the nerve to try to tell me that I'm wrong, and just the way you say it, it's just
Yeah.
it's really a perfect rap song to me. I can see why that was the moment where you're like, oh, we do this shit. Like,
Yeah, it
we're
felt
good at
like
it.
one of them ones just on like the strength of the type of song it was. It was so creepy and it felt like the moment. Like we was like I said, it was Virginia Beach. It was foggy as fuck, dark. You know what I'm saying? Cold. We made that shit. It felt like that. And then my dog Mike helped. You know what I'm saying? Direct the video. That's another close friend of mine. Like I love doing shit like that, bro. I love doing shit like I say with my people. Like putting them on, putting their art style on, and achieving something with it.
Yeah. And ego is obviously a huge thing in hip hop. It's a very competitive genre. It's a lot of flexing in this genre. And something you and Olu have done, is that every song that only features one of you says featuring EarthGang, which might seem like a small thing to do to you, but to me, I'm like, that's so much respect that you guys are so committed to the brand together that you're willing to do that. Is that a lot of forethought? Like we're gonna push the brand over our personal brands.
Oh yeah, I can honestly say up until I started, we both started working on our solo projects. It's been brand over everything. That's been the whole. That's been the whole point. That's been like the whole. It's been like the team of EarthGang has been. It's been like that, really the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And I fought with it, like I say, and that's forever my squad. But I think that's part of why we both was like taking some time to make some more personal music too, because you can kind of get lost in that. You can get lost in like, you know what I'm saying, like team, brand. Well, not even team, because team is good to have no matter what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
But brand is you know, everything in moderation. It can get unhealthy, especially for your music and for the sound that you're trying to make. And if you want people to really connect at the end of the day, you gotta. That's the most important baseline product. What makes people connect, not necessarily what promotes the brand. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, I think we both realized that like a little more this year. But we still, you know what I'm saying? EarthGang, we got like 2-3 more projects that are finished
Yes,
that still
sir.
coming as EarthGang. But we are currently also making like just vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, I want to talk about Dreamville Fest because the really cool part about Dreamville Fest is that a normal music festival, it's a lot of random artists that don't necessarily have the same fan base. So there might be an artist who's not getting a good crowd because like this just isn't, they're not supposed to be at Rolling Loud. It's just not that young teenager fan base. What's cool about Dreamville is that, like I said, it's such a strong community. Every single person there is a fan of all of you. Can you like feel that difference when you're performing on stage? Like, oh, this festival
Yeah.
is, this shit's different.
Dreamville Fest is an amazing experience every year, man. I fucking love that shit, and it's always so crazy because it's so because of what you just said that the everybody's a fan of everybody takes a lot of the crowd just like bullshit out. You know what I'm saying? Like if you in some festivals, just even the fact that everybody's doing different things in different places is causing like a little more commotion than you would see. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what keeps it low key peaceful. Like everybody's trying to see this happen. Everybody's trying to see this happen. And then for
Yeah.
a lot of the, you know what I'm saying, that area, it ain't really no other big festival even coming that way. So it's like if I'm South Carolina, shit, even Georgia for real, like it's one of the bigger festivals in the South. So it's like, and especially in the Southeast, in that pocket, it's like, you know, we need to goddamn have something we can go to. So like I think it's like the biggest cookout ever, and I think it keeps that vibe. And as long as it keeps that vibe, it's gonna always be great and better than a lot of festivals, and it's gonna always sell out fast as fuck because
Yeah.
it's you know you good, you know what I'm saying, and if you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, it's a good show.
Yeah, Colby getting like, very creative headliners too. He knows
Mm-hmm.
what like the hip hop fans really want. Who was it this year? Did they even announce? Yeah, they announced it. I'm blank. Is it Lil Wayne or someone?
This is Wayne. I don't know. I saw Nicki was coming,
Oh yeah, Nicki. Yeah.
but I don't know anything about.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't think they announced it. They announced it yet. I mean, I guess it is next
I
month
don't.
almost.
Yeah, it's next month. One day I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get to North Carolina, and it's gonna be the best day of my life.
It's worth it,
How's
bro.
it going?
It's super worth
I
it.
mean, it's all my favorite artists ever, and like that's the thing about a festival. Like sometimes the noon set, like there's no one there and it's awkward. But like I feel like last year was like Jordan Ward, and anyone who's at Dreamville Fest is gonna love Jordan Ward music. And there's
Mm-hmm.
just that vibe that if you're a Dreamville fan, you like this Dreamville type artist. Whether it's the R&B side of it or rap side of it, it's just crazy. And what is that? What does the Dreamville family mean to you? Like we talked about JID already, and we talked about Cole. How about Ari, Kaz, Boz, Loot, Omen,
I love all
Most
those guys,
Valuable?
man. I was just talking to Luke. I hope he remembers to call me this week. I was supposed to be helping Luke with his project. I'm trying to get more into the like, you know what I'm saying, directing space on like videos and
Yeah.
shit.
Because Goldmouth
I'm trying
was
to do that.
insane. That was one
Was
of
it
my favorite
working now?
albums. Goldmouth, his
Oh yeah,
last
Goldmouth.
album, insane.
Luke is great. I've known Luke since like we met on Twitter, on hip hop Twitter years ago. Goddamn, he was working at
Love hip
Target
hop
at the
Twitter.
time. Yeah, he was working at Target. I was working at a call center, and we would tweet each other about music and shit all the fucking time. And
That's
then
sick.
like that was before either of us was even close to Dreamville. And then we both ended up on Dreamville. Like, bro, you that same dude, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit crazy, but like,
Yeah.
Ari, you know what I'm saying? When we first stayed up in the shelter, you know what I'm saying? We kicked it in the shelter. Ari, the shelter is like Cole's little studio house in North
Yeah.
Carolina. And it was us, JID, and Ari. Like, it was like a reality show. Like, we was all living in there. And like,
Yeah.
all making music, all making very amazing shit. She made a lot of that. She made like, what's she making that time? I feel like she made that new apartment song. She was in her bag in that little house. We always making like crazy shit just around each other the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Elite was there,
Mm.
like you know what I'm saying, like
Elite,
I
elite,
remember
elite.
like that shit was cool. Yeah, that shit was hella cool, man. That was one of the most fun times of my life. Like just we all just basically stayed in North Carolina for months, like just in this one house. Just each room had a mic, and that's kind of how we even kind of built the vibe of like. Really, since Spillage Village, that's always been like the vibe, like a bunch of people just in the house making shit.
Yeah.
And then just having that vibe like kind of translate throughout our whole career is kind of like what kept. I think that's why our music sound the way it does. You know what I'm saying? I think like from that's how the vibe was at Dreamville Fest. I mean not Dreamville Fest, at the Dreamville sessions with the Revenge 3 sessions. That's how it was on my album, on our most EarthGang
Yeah.
albums. Like that shit, it's like a vibe that we can say. I think that's the best thing I say about the Dreamville family. It's still
Yeah.
like everybody create all at once, do whatever the fuck you want to do type vibe. It's not like, yo, this song is for him. He's gonna take
Yeah.
it and be the one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, bro, we
Yeah.
all just doing this shit. Like, go.
Yeah. Let's also now talk about Spillage Village because I don't mean I love Cole. Cole's my favorite artist ever. But then when people ask like why have you and Kendrick never made a song together, I understand their parents and they families and they can't find the time. But you guys, it's over 5 of you come together to make a whole album together, and you felt that was important enough. Like we got to make this, and we don't always see that in hip hop. And it's so cool when you guys understand the importance. Like we want to see JID, EarthGang, Mariba, Black, all of y'all on a song. Like it's crazy. So how did the album come together?
Spilligion?
Yeah.
Spilligion was always gonna happen, bro. So we had a series of tapes called Bears Like This, Bears Like This Too Much. And
Bangers.
like those tapes, those was like the predecessors to like a Spilligion kind of happening. Cause we was making those actually in close proximity, like excuse me, like for most of those we was living around each other. Like Mariba lived up the street. Black, you know what I'm saying, was roommates with me and JID at one point. We was all, you know what I'm saying, staying in the
That's
same
crazy.
crib. Yeah,
Talented ass house.
yeah. Me, Black, and JID was all, you know what I'm saying, living in there. Fucking, like, and we just would, like, you know what I'm saying, naturally just go over each other's houses, and while we was kicking it, Olu would come over every day, you know what I'm saying, after work. Because Olu and JID work together, and then so that they would get off work and then pull up to the crib. We all be over there, you know what I'm saying, just doing that shit. So, like, and that would be like us concentrating on the same song, like not doing like the dream. That would be us like, oh, like let's just do one thing on one beat and do that over and over again. And so like that was always gonna happen. But in the pandemic, we realized it might not. I don't know. We talked about doing it again since we started again since, but it was a lot more loose. Like everybody was coming when they could, shows, kids, this and that, tours, songs, performance, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has photo shoot, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has so much shit to do. This last one, we made a lot of music, but like, we gotta do it again. I know we gotta do it a couple more times to like really get it. The pandemic was perfect because, the pandemic was perfect because everybody just came and locked into the house and that was it. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? Like that was just that. We locked to the house, we got them, made a bunch of songs, and they all went together well. And then we started, you know what I'm saying? Folks coming in with guitars and shit. We started doing little songs that sound like folk songs and shit. We was like, yeah, fuck it, let's just put it on there too, bro. Like fuck it. That's what I be fucking with like this shit. I don't never feel like, oh, I rap, I gotta do this hip hop shit. Like nigga, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, hip hop ain't saved my life, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I saved my own life. But like I definitely feel like music saved my life. Like the whole gamut. I want the whole gamut of music, bro. Like I love making rock shit, folk shit, all that shit. So I think that was like the best part of it.
Jupiter's one of my favorite songs, like ever. It's
I love that song, bro. I want
cool.
that song to have more life. I don't know what I don't think it's it's so crazy when you make it's like kind of like a painting where you don't know necessarily when in the painting's life is gonna have his big moment. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that song is one of them songs that like somebody's gonna grab a hold of that years from now and be like,
they'll throw it in a movie, it'll be big.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? A movie or something, bro. Like I feel like it's one of them like it's a special ass record.
I feel like JID's having that moment with surround sound right now. Cause I played that to the ground when it originally came out, so it's like, oh shit, good, let's go. The people they catching on now.
That shit is crazy to see. That shit is amazing.
It's so awesome to see. And I mean the people love Spillage Village. They need another album. The NPR Tiny Desk, I was watching it last night with my family. I was forcing my parents to watch it. And it's just y'all killed it. The guitars in the background going crazy. And you're pumped up in that video. You're like really animated. You're really feeling it.
Oh man, I be zoning out, bro. That's the only way I could get through performances. I gotta zone out. I gotta just go to another place with the whole thing.
Your baptized verse is just, I don't know if it might be your best ever. It's just so crazy. There's so many bars. Like the Tyson, is it worth it if you're not the Tyson line is just crazy. Then the God line I said before, and the over my lyrical phase.
I need Hov to hear that verse. He probably heard it. I don't know. He might have heard that one. Hov do be listening to this shit. I don't know. He might have heard that one.
Get on like Obama's end of the year list. It's like I don't know if Hov's listening to these songs that he says he is, but maybe he is. Maybe he's tuned in.
I feel like Hov might listen. I've got some calls from some surprising levels of this music shit, and I'd be like, "What niggas? I can't believe you even heard that shit." They was like, "Yeah, no, I fuck with that." Or like, I appreciate it. So that's the funny thing about this whole shit. I personally never know, like, cause it's some days I can go out and I'm with my family, I'm chilling. Some days I go out with my same family, and people is like, yo, 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 yo. So like, I can never really tell. Like, I don't really feel famous. I feel like it depends on where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm recognized more the further I go from my neighborhood with them. But then at the same time, I go to the. Actually, that's not even true. I go to this gas station, and all these kids know me. So like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's like I don't really never feel famous. So if I get a call from like a Jay-Z or a Diddy or one of them niggas that's like the magnates of hip hop or something like that, I'd be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Even like when CeeLo hollered at us about the before we got CeeLo on the song, I was like, you listen to us, bro? Like, oh shit, like you know what I'm saying? Like he's like, yeah, I'm my son, for you around the house all the time. Gorillas, same shit. I was like, bro, what the fuck you heard? Like, that shit always is amazing to me.
I think those are the moments like fans love to hear, or at least I like to hear, that you are like nerding out and you do appreciate when those people do talk to you. Because it's the same way for like me, my platform, if someone follows me and I'm like, holy shit, like that journalist followed me. Like I love Rob Markman. He hasn't followed me yet, but I want Rob to follow me. But
Rob, follow him, bro. Rob fuck with the gang. Hey, Rob, follow him, bro. Follow Adam Dash.
Yeah, bro. I'm trying to get a job from Genius. I'm trying my best. But
fuck with him. But yeah, bro. Motherfucking That's we was really geeking out. Like I said, every time somebody reaches out, I'm like, cause you know, it doesn't. Like I said, that's kind of like not to go to plug my album again, but that's why I call it Howl At Da Moon.
Plug it.
Because you do feel like sometimes you don't know who's hearing what you're doing. Like you get into a place where you making so much music and just you singing and you rapping and you do it. It's like, well, who is experiencing this in a way? Because you can't, like, the internet sometimes doesn't feel palpable. It just feels like you can read a bunch of comments, you can see a bunch of likes or whatever, and you can be like, yeah, but like it's still something missing that you need to know. You know what I'm saying? To really know. Like I feel like Beyonce I really knows, because she goes out and does a show and it's like, you know what I'm saying? And not to say I need to be Beyonce, but I definitely, you don't ever really know, so you just howling at the moon. You know what I'm saying? You just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it because I love it, and I'm gonna do it whether you listening or not.
Man, that feels like a great way to end this amazing conversation. Howl At Da Moon. It is dropping soon. Do we have a date or an area of time to expect for that to be dropped?
Spring for sure. I can't say the exact date yet because I'm trying to work out one little piece of the rollout. But spring for sure. And spring is I just seen some flowers bloom today. Spring's coming.
Yeah. It has not been cold. I mean, I'm from outside of Philly. It has not been like cold once. It's kind of sus.
That's crazy.
I don't think it's not good for the people.
No, that's actually crazy. In Atlanta, I can see that, but damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. My brother's like, why haven't you worn this jacket in a while? I'm like, I have no reason to wear a jacket. Like, a hoodie's has been chilling for this.
Dang, that's crazy.
It's sad. But where can the people find you, Doc, on social media? I mean, they can
go find EarthGang. Follow EarthGang. We just dropped the EP, Robophobia. It's amazing. Go listen to that now. Robophobia. It's amazing. Go listen to that shit right now. The next EarthGang EP is on the way. EarthGang versus the Algorithm continues. Go listen to EarthGang. EarthGang. Go listen to that now.
Yes, sir.
That's what you can experience right now.
And that album cover for EarthGang versus the Algorithm is like the craziest cover ever. Just want to add that before we end this up. But thank you. If you made it to the end of the podcast, please throw a like, subscribe, because we're trying to get more amazing artists like this. If you're an independent or rising artist, keep sending me your music because we love talking about it. I love hearing new people. That's the goal of this podcast. I'm Adam Dash, at Adam Dash _ on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, we will see you next time. Peace.